Welcome to Commanders Daily, everybody. It's your one-stop shop. Everything going on with the Burgundy and Gold. I'm Bob Matthews. Don't forget, hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss an episode of it. Well, Adam Peters and Dan Quinn met with reporters in Ashburn today. This, of course, one day after two pretty significant developments. One being the 53-man roster trimmed down, and the second, of course, being, Terry McLaurin getting into camp and starting to practice with the team. Went through a full workout today. Both Peters and Quinn said everything is just fine right now. They said that the negotiation was handled with professionalism, with dignity, and they said there were never any hard feelings involved in it, nor were there ever going to be any hard feelings involved with it. Peters saying that he appreciated the professionalism that both Terry and his agent, Buddy Baker, came in with, said that the conversations were always constructive, just saying that the process takes as long as the process takes in these situations. So, good to hear those kind of positive vibes coming out of that press conference today, because as we have seen in some other places, it does not go that way a lot of times. Let's see some of the notable quotes from Peters. I especially thought he struck a very diplomatic tone when talking about the length of the contract and the money involved in it, saying he says he genuinely hopes that Terry plays through the whole thing and gets every dime of it, which I thought was a very, very interesting kind of thing to say, because we all know that's not going to happen. That's just not the reality in the NFL. And, you always need salary cap room. That's why you make those deals like that with no, with a way to get out of it and or renegotiate it. But here's what Peters had to say today on the negotiating process. He said, "I think it was a long time, obviously, from when we started the talks until we got finished, but I think you get optimistic, pessimistic, all those different things throughout the process. But what we never lost, and this is the important part, what we never lost was our love and respect and really admiration for Terry and for what he does for us on and off the field. So keeping those things in perspective and trusting that we'll be able to get to do something." And he also talked about how it's a balance between, personally liking somebody, working with them, and then, of course, negotiating a contract. Very good, though, I think, that you saw it remained as professional as it did. Terry also talked after practice today, said he was very happy with the way things turned out, very happy to be back on the practice field, and very happy to be looking forward to week one against the Giants. Less than 2 weeks now until that happens. I was wondering, though, and we looked at the contract and everything. If you were interested in who won and who lost this, and let's face it, a lot of people are, it definitely has to go down as a win for Adam Peters. And, that's a good thing for fans, because what you want is the long-term health of this organization to be good. And I think it's in a really good place with Peters. So the contract extension, it included a $29 million annual base salary, $44 million in guarantees. You heard about the $30 million signing bonus. $44 million in guarantees is a lot less than McLaurin's agent originally asked for. In fact, they were asking for close to $40 million a year. So you can see that, when with $44 million guaranteed, and you're talking about less than $22 million a year, when, which was probably close to what the team really wanted to pay. I don't see how it's anything other than a huge win for the team. And even at all that, they were able to structure it so that McLaurin's agent can come out and publicly state, correctly so, that his client got $96 million guaranteed, the most ever for a player 30 years old or older. And when you contrast that for instance, with what's happening in Dallas with Jerry Jones and Micah Parsons. I mean, good Lord. That thing is just a grease fire down there. There was a report that Parsons was seen getting on a plane at DFW, getting out of town for a few days. Think about that. Terry McLaurin, did it come down to the last few minutes, the last day or two? Yeah. Did he get it signed? Yeah, he did. Even if the Cowboys, come out tomorrow or come out today or tomorrow, Thursday or Friday and say, okay, we've got it. Micah's got a deal. He's still got to get into game shape. I don't think Micah Parsons probably is playing the first week of the season. So if you're a Commanders fan, all you do is say, Jerry, keep on doing what you're doing. Just keep on keeping on, and you just keep on doing you. It's a beautiful thing, isn't it? Roster cuts. We got the final rosters. Obviously, I don't have time to list everything here. Not really. What struck me was, and if you want to read about it, I've got a detailed breakdown of it over at sportsjourney.com, but not a lot of real surprises. I think you pretty much saw this roster shake out the way you thought it was going to. And I think that's got to do with a few things. One, there are better players in camp this year. Two, it's a more organized way of doing things now, and a more modern and organized way of doing things. I think you saw the guys who were going to make this team got their work in those controlled environments of A, training camp, and B, the joint practices. The only really minor surprises, I guess, were Josh Johnson making the club as the number 3 quarterback. Sam Hartman was signed to the practice squad, so he's still going to be around. And the only other slight surprise that I had was Cole Turner, the tight end, being cut. They kept Colton Yankoff instead, although, when Yankoff made that big play against Cincinnati, that 52-yard catch and run, I think that pretty much sealed the deal on that one. Obviously, to me, the Brian Robinson Jr. trade was a surprise. Our good friend Ben Standig over on Substack called that months ago. Good job, Ben. He knew that was going on. So, was it a surprise that Bill Croxy Merritt is going to be, if not the lead back, number 1A? A little bit, but I think that the coaching staff of the front office has been, have been enamored with him since they were able to draft him. So again, the big thing is that when you look at the roster, there weren't any surprises because they pretty much had done their work before they got to camp, the front office and the coaching staff, which is the way a competent organization runs these days. What a concept, huh? All right, let's go ahead and hit the mailbag real quick. Again, if you got any comments on either Terry's contract, who won, who lost, the 53, were you surprised by anybody that either did or didn't make it? Let me know in the comment section. Let's see. What do we got here? At Jeff Gilmore, 5058, saying hopefully we get Brooks back, Ja'Cory Brooks. Well, good news, Jeff. He is back. They will sign him. They signed him to the practice squad. Also at Lonell Wesley, R.I.P. Rick Snyder. Rick Snyder, longtime writer on the Burgundy and Gold beat. And I agree with you. Well said. And I appreciate you saying it, Wesley. I didn't really know Rick. Didn't get to work with him that much, but everybody on the beat that did work with him just said that he was a really, really nice guy. I read some of his stuff, obviously. I read his stuff, and he was a fantastic writer. He will definitely be missed in the press box at Northwest Stadium. All right, that's going to do it for us. Don't forget, hit the like and subscribe button. Leave us a comment. We will read them tomorrow. Have a great Thursday. We will talk to you again on Friday. Getting ready for Labor Day weekend. Remember, like the wise man once said, if you're out on your bike tonight, as always, do wear white.